Once upon a time, in the era of Dwapara Yuga, the third age of the world's cycle of yugas, Satya Yuga, Tetra Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga, in which humanity shows its first significant decline in righteousness. An age where morality and immorality coexist equally, and spirituality is deteriorating. In this age, Krishna, an avatar of Vishnu, took birth to establish a Dharma, divine truth or justice. He taught humanity vital lessons to expand their consciousness. He taught about Dharma, responsibility, righteousness, devotion, the essence of life, and fulfilling responsibilities without concern to the outcome, emphasizing unselfish conduct. He played a very important role in this era, where the great epic of Mahabharata taken place.
Whenever there is a decline in righteousness and an increase in sinfulness, O descendant of Bharata, at that time I manifest myself on earth to protect the righteous, to annihilate the wicked, and to re-establish the principles of Dharma. I appear on this earth, age after age. Weapons cannot shred the soul, nor can fire burn it. Water cannot wet it, nor can the wind dry it. All the best among warriors fight for the sake of duty, treating alike happiness and distress, loss and gains, victory and defeat, fulfilling your responsibility. In this way, you will never incur sin.
The Mahabharata, Season 1, Episode 8. The Story of Puru, the Ancestor of Pandavas. Puru stared unseeing into the horizon as the setting sun swathed the entire landscape in its resplendent radiance. The young prince was immune to the beauty of nature, as his mind was on a pressing, nagging problem. He knew his father, King Yayati, would call him soon, and he needed to be ready with his answer. Yadu and Turvasu, born to his father's first wife, Devayani, were already summoned. He himself was the youngest son of his father's second wife, Sarmistha, and was born after Dryu and Anu. That his two mothers' histories were deeply intertwined was one of the primary reasons he was deliberating on his answer to his father's impending question. Devayani was the daughter of Sukracharya, the guru of the Asuras. Sarmishta was the daughter of the Ashura king, Vrishaparva. Guru Shukracharya was indispensable to the Asuras, considering he was a master of the Mrita Sanjeevani, mantra that could revive the dead. Devayani and Sarmistha had been close friends once. However, the friendship ended one fateful day when the two were swimming in the lake with their friends. As they were having fun in the water, a powerful gust of wind threatened to scatter the girls' garments lying on the banks of the lake. In a panic, everyone tried to clamber out of the water to get their hands on their clothes. In the mayhem, Sarmishta mistakenly wore Devayani's dress. Devayani was furious and spoke rudely to Sarmistha. In response, Sarmistha called Devayani the daughter of a servant who depended on her father for his livelihood. The ensuing name-calling ended in a fistfight, and Sarmistha pushed Devyani so hard that she fell into the well. She left the place without trying to rescue Devyani, who remained stuck in the well, crying and calling out for help. King Yayati, who had come hunting, heard her cry for help and pulled her out. However, Devayani had a score to settle with Sarmistha before her marriage. When she was alone with her father, she related the events at the lake. Like any doting father, Guru Shukracharya wanted to know what would make her happy. He was quite angry too at being referred to as a supplicant. Devyani said,
"Since both you and I were insulted as being slaves and servants, I want Sarmistha to become my slave for the rest of her life."
Shukracharya approached King Vrishaparva and demanded his daughter's wishes be fulfilled. Otherwise, he would leave the Ashura kingdom forever. There was no option left for the Ashura king. He went to his daughter and pleaded with her to accept the condition for the sake of the kingdom, and Sarmistha agreed. She became Devayani's slave for life and went to live with her in Yayati's kingdom. Devayani and Yayati had 2 sons, Yadu and Turvasu. However, it was not long before Yayati, who had a huge weakness for sensual pleasures, noticed Sarmistha's beauty. Unknown to Devayani, he married the Asura princess, and they had 3 sons, Guru, Anu, and Puru. Devayani soon found out about her husband's infidelity and complained to her father again. In anger, Guru Shukracharya cursed his son-in-law to lose all his youth. Yayati turned into an old, frail man instantly. But his desires remained, and the conflict between his mind and body tortured him endlessly. He fell at his father-in-law's feet, begging for forgiveness. Even Devayani pleaded his case this time. Shukracharya relented. He gave Yayati a solution.
You can regain your old form if one of your sons is willing to exchange his youth with you. Go, ask all your sons.
And so here was Puru waiting for his turn to be called. Even though he was the youngest, there was no hope of missing his turn because he knew his older brothers had already decided to say no to their father. Sarmistha had called her 3 sons.
When everyone treated me like a slave, your father gave me respect. He made me an equal to the very woman who caused me unending suffering. I owe him my happy, respectful life. Think about your duty towards your parents before you make any decision.
Dhruyu said,
But mother, why should we pay for father's mistake?
Because if he didn't make mistakes, you might not be born at all, Dhruyu.
But mother, those events you talk about happened in the past. What can we do about it? Father expecting one of us to give up our youth is unfair.
Counted Anu.
Moreover, hasn't he lived his life fully? Married well, ruled for a long time, had children? Becoming old is a natural aspect, right? So what if it happened a little before his time? He can take it graciously and let us lead our lives, mother.
Continued Dhruyu. Puru's brothers were not affected by their mother's speech. Puru had the same doubts his brothers had, and he had deeper doubts.
Aren't people supposed to become increasingly mature and wise with age? If all his life experiences hadn't helped my father overcome his desires, then I wonder what would. Both of my mothers haven't been able to let go of their old grudges. Would I be like them too?
He wondered how he would live with a frail body and a mind full of unfulfilled desires. If his father couldn't manage it, how would he be able to handle it? And yet, Puru felt obliged to help his father. He didn't know how to say no to his parents.
Maybe I'll be stronger than my father was when dealing with my desires.
As these confusing thoughts were playing in his mind, a messenger told him that his father wanted to see him. Sighing resignedly, Puru went into his father's chambers and shut the door. The frail body of Yayati looked even more so, especially when 4 of his 5 sons had disagreed to exchange their youth with him. Puru was his last option, and he was a mere boy, the youngest of the 5.
You know why I have called you, my son. What is your answer? Think of your poor father before you say anything.
But Puru had already made his decision before entering his father's chambers.
Father, you have given my mother dignity and love, and I was born from this love. I am, therefore, duty-bound to help you in your crisis, even if I think it is unfair. I agree to exchange my youth with you. Continue to shower your love on my mother.
Yayati was overcome with emotion. He hugged his son, and instantly, Puru became old, and Yayati regained his youth.
For this mighty sacrifice that you have done, I name you my successor, and I will return your youth as soon as I have finished my work.
And so, Yayati ruled and lived for a long time, chasing and fulfilling his dreams and desires. Puru kept waiting for his father to return as he promised. But it was many years before Yayati gained wisdom, and only when all his desires went dry. Then he called Puru, gave his son back his youth, crowned him king, and left to live the life of an ascetic until his death. Puru had wondered if he would be happy in his old, frail physical body. He realized he was able to do that and more. He spent all his time and energy gaining knowledge and controlling his mind and body. The challenging period became his period of learning. When he regained his youth, he was not only physically fit to take over his father's kingdom, but was also mentally and emotionally strong. The wisdom his father got after fulfilling his desires, Puru gained by sacrificing those very same wants. Puru ruled his kingdom wisely and well for a long time and had 3 heroic sons. His descendants included the famous Kuru clan. From the story of Puru, several moral messages given to humanity. The story teaches that selflessness and respect are important virtues. It also teaches that we should consider the impact of our actions on others. The story encourages us to prioritize the needs of others over our own. It also teaches that we should find a balance between worldly pursuits and spiritual well-being. Let us continue to embark on a journey through time to explore the origins of this timeless epic. The story of mankind. The story of Dharma. If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing to support us and stay connected with more engaging videos.